You're sitting in the little glass office at the dealership. The air smells like stale coffee and floor polish. Across from you, a guy named Brad or Mike, who is wearing a watch that costs more than your current net worth, slides a piece of paper across the desk. He looks you in the eye with this sympathetic, helpful smile and asks the one question that is single-handedly destroying the middle class. So, what are you looking to pay per month? And you breathe a sigh of relief. You've done your budget. You know you can squeeze out $600 or maybe even $700 a month. You say the number. He taps his calculator, smiles, and says, "Great news. I think we can actually get you into the upgraded model for that price." You sign the papers. You drive off in the new SUV with the heated seats and the panoramic sunroof, feeling successful, feeling safe. But you didn't just buy a car. You just walked voluntarily into a financial bear trap that is going to keep you broke for the next decade. And the worst part, you think you got a good deal. My name is Scarlett, and I spend way too much time thinking about the mathematics of depreciation and consumer debt. If you're someone who feels like no matter how hard you work, your bank account just stays flat at the end of every month, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, here's the thing. We need to talk about the normal car payment. And I'm using air quotes there because what has become normal in our society is actually mathematically insane. I saw a statistic recently from Experian that made me physically ill. The average monthly payment for a new car in America has officially crossed the $730 mark. For used cars, it's over $530. And that's just the average. I see people in my comment section every day talking about $900, $1,000, even $1,200 truck payments. Now, you might be thinking, well, Scarlett, cars are expensive. Everything is expensive. I need to get to work, right? Yes, you need transportation, but there is a massive difference between transportation and what most people are actually buying, which is status wrapped in sheet metal. Here's what most people don't realize. The dealership doesn't care about the price of the car. They don't even really care about the interest rate. They care about the term, the length of the loan. Back in the day, a standard car loan was 36 months, maybe 48. If you couldn't pay it off in 4 years, you couldn't afford the car. Simple. Today, the most common loan term is ranging from 72 to 84 months. That's 7 years. Think about that for a second. 7 years. If you buy a car today on an 84-month note, you will still be paying for that car when your toddler is entering 3rd grade. You will be paying for that car when it has 100,000 miles on it, needs a new transmission, and has Cheetos crushed into the backseat upholstery. And this is where the monthly payment trap really sinks its teeth in. Let's do some math, because numbers don't lie. People do. Let's say you want that shiny new SUV that costs $45,000. You put $0 down because, well, most people don't have savings. If you took a responsible 36-month loan at, let's be optimistic, 7% interest, your payment would be about $1,390 a month. You see that number and you panic. I can't afford $1,400 a month. So the dealer says, no problem. Let's stretch that out to 84 months. Suddenly, your payment drops to roughly $680. You think, oh, thank God, $680 is manageable. I can do $680. But here is where it gets really interesting and really depressing. In the first scenario, you pay about $5,000 in interest total. In the second scenario, the affordable one, you end up paying over $12,000 in interest. You are literally lighting $7,000 on fire just to make the monthly number look smaller. And that's not even the dangerous part. The dangerous part is something called negative equity, or as it's known on the street, being underwater. Because you are paying the principal balance down so slowly on that 7-year loan, the car is depreciating, losing value, faster than you are paying for it. Let's say 2 years go by. You get bored of the car, or maybe you have a kid and need more space. You go to trade it in. The car is now worth $28,000, but because you've barely touched the principal, you still owe $35,000 on the loan. You are $7,000 in the hole. You don't have $7,000 cash to cover the difference. So what does the dealer do? They say, "Don't worry, we'll just roll that $7,000 into your new loan." Now you're buying a $50,000 car, but you have a $57,000 loan. You are paying interest on a car you don't even own anymore. This is a cycle that keeps people poor forever. I see people rolling negative equity into negative equity until they're driving a Honda Civic but paying for a Mercedes S-Class. It is financial suicide. Now, I know what you're going to say. I can hear the objections already. But Scarlett, I need a reliable car. I can't be breaking down on the side of the highway at 2 a.m. My safety is worth the premium. I get it. I really do. Fear is a powerful motivator, but we have to stop conflating reliability with brand new. This is a marketing trick. The auto industry has spent billions of dollars convincing you that the moment a car's warranty expires, the wheels fall off and the engine explodes. That is simply not true. Modern cars are incredibly durable. A Toyota or Honda with 80,000 miles on it isn't a ticking bomb. It's usually just getting broken in. When you sign up for that $700 payment because you're afraid of a $1,000 repair bill once a year, you are making a logic error. You are guaranteeing an $8,400 annual loss in payments to avoid a potential $1,000 repair. Mathematically, that makes zero sense. You are paying an insurance premium of reliability that is costing you nearly $10,000 a year. But let's peel back the layers here, because this isn't just about math. If it were just about math, nobody would do this. This is psychological. We live in a culture that judges your success by what sits in your driveway. We've been programmed to believe that arrival looks like new leather smell and alloy wheels. When you pull up to the family reunion or the office parking lot in a 2014 sedan, you feel less than. You feel like people are wondering if you're struggling. So we medicate that insecurity with debt. We rent our status from the bank. And look, I'm not saying you can never have a nice car. I love cars, but there is a massive difference between buying a nice car because you are wealthy and buying a nice car to look wealthy. The wealthy person buys the car after their assets can pay for it. The average person buys the car hoping their paycheck will keep showing up so they don't get repossessed. Here's the thing, the car payment is the number one thing standing between you and becoming a millionaire. And I'm not exaggerating, I'm going to prove it to you. Most people look at $700 and think it's just a bill, like the electric bill. It's the cost of living. But it's not the cost of living, it's the cost of lost opportunity. Let's run the numbers, and I want you to really listen to this because it changes everything. Let's take that average car payment of $730 a month. Let's say instead of financing a depreciating hunk of metal every 5 or 6 years, you decided to become a car weirdo. You decide to drive a paid-off, slightly older Honda or Toyota. If you took that same $730 every single month and invested it in a standard low-cost index fund, averaging an 8% return, which is historically conservative, do you know what you'd have after 40 years? You wouldn't have a driveway full of rusted scrap metal. You would have $2.3 million. $2,300,000. That is not a typo. That is the math of compound interest. When you sign those loan papers at the dealership, you aren't just agreeing to pay $45,000 for a car. You are effectively taking $2.3 million out of your future retirement fund and setting it on fire just so you can have heated seats and Apple CarPlay today. Is the new car smell worth $2 million to you? Because that is the trade you're making. Now, I can feel the tension through the screen. You're thinking, okay, Scarlett, I get it. The math sucks, but I'm already in the trap. I owe $30,000 on a car that's worth $25,000. What am I supposed to do? Walk to work? No, but you do need to perform aggressive surgery on your finances. Here are the actionable steps you need to take if you want to break this cycle. And warning, these aren't going to be fun. They aren't hacks. They are hard work. Step 1, the ego check sale. If your car payment is more than 10% of your take-home pay, or if the total value of your vehicles, anything with a motor, is more than 50% of your annual income, you have too much car, period. You need to sell it. But Scarlett, I'm underwater. I owe more than it's worth. I know, it hurts, but you have to rip the Band-Aid off. If you have to go to a local credit union and get a small personal loan to cover the difference between what you sell the car for and what you owe the bank, do it. Why? Because a personal loan for $4,000 at 10% interest is infinitely better than staying in a $30,000 debt spiral that prevents you from building wealth. Get out of the car. Step 2, embrace the beater life. You need to buy a point A to point B car. I'm talking about a $5,000 to $8,000 ugly sedan. It might have a scratch on the bumper. The paint might be fading. Your friends might ask, "Whoa, what happened? Is everything okay?" And this is where you have to be strong. You smile and say, "Everything's great. I'm just buying my freedom." Step 3, the car payment to yourself strategy. This is the secret sauce. Once you're driving that paid-for clunker, you don't just stop spending that money. You keep making the car payment, but you pay it to yourself. You put that $700 into a high-yield savings account. Every month, you have $7,000. You sell your $5,000 beater for probably exactly what you paid for it, because cheap cars don't depreciate much. Add your $7,000 cash, and now you buy a $12,000 car with cash. You rinse and repeat this every 2 years. Within 5 or 6 years, you will be driving that $30,000 car you wanted in the first place, but you won't have a payment and you won't have paid a cent in interest. You will own it. It won't own you. Here's the thing. Society has lied to you. They have sold you a dream that is actually a nightmare. They want you to believe that you are what you drive. But real wealth is silent. Real wealth is the cash in the bank that gives you the ability to quit a toxic job. Real wealth is the peace of mind knowing that if the economy crashes, they can't come take your car in the middle of the night. I want you to get angry at your car payment. I want you to look at that monthly deduction from your bank account and realize it is a thief. It is stealing your options. It is stealing your peace. It's time to stop trying to look rich and start actually becoming rich. If you are ready to break out of the car payment trap, drop a comment below saying, "I'm driving free," so I can cheer you on. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to master your money instead of letting it master you. I'm Scarlett, and I'll see you in the next one.